making Immortals there.
I do think
Maybe
it's a bit of an either-or situation for me personally, and in fact, I think Immortals can be the better choice in some situations, because Disruptors are generally hit or miss. Very rarely do they get just enough to be warranted. So the Immortals, very consistent damage, very consistent units, dependable units where Disruptor isn't so much. I actually kind of liked that. I just think he was losing too much fodder, and as you were saying, was also kind of making conflicting decisions. You know, I want to defend, but then I also want to kind of sneak in this Nexus, or maybe teching up on those 3 secure bases, and again, not taking as many engagements as it would have been the better choice. There's a lot of, you know, branches off of these hypotheticals, but at the very basic part of the game is that Kelazhur did get a lead, I think, with his opener. He just got a fast 3rd CC, with Nice didn't really respond to. Nice didn't cut his own corners, and Nice also lost probes to some decent harassment. So it wasn't a very pretty game for the Protoss.
Yeah. Kelazhur got himself a bit of a lead in that game, and as a result, has a bit of a lead in the series. 1-0 up on Nice. And it's Deathera for game 2 here. One of the old season maps from the map pool. I think Pillars of Gold's the other one, right?
Yes. It was 3 in Submarine.
Oh, right. Cool. Oh, nice with the gas steal. Now, as a Terran, when a Protoss steals my gas, I go, they're probably proxy getting me, or they're doing something very strange to like hit as a result of taking my gas. Because this is not cheap. That's 75 minerals for Nice to take that. So it feels like a commitment. And now it's the probe's dead as well. So it's like, all right, he's going to try and make this worth it. He is going Cybercore before Nexus, but it does look like Nice is taking that Nexus. So it isn't a proxy gateway, as I would assume here as the Terran, having my gas stolen.
I'm a bit more confused. I mean, I think you're spot on. Like, it's kind of weird when a Protoss does this, then it's just like, that's it. And you're like, okay. And if you're one with expanding, you don't really need that fast second gas. You get it eventually, of course, then it is annoying. But what I'm a little more confused by is Kelazhur's second depot, which usually is it's something you get when you are going for 2 gases. I think he just was afraid of exactly what you were talking about. I think he was just like, wait, is this something? Like, do I have to be afraid? And so he gets his defenses on the high ground, but then he gets a low ground command center after no scouting. Oh, he did scout. Okay, yeah, then I'm sticking with that guess then. He just was like, wait, stealing my gas? What's this about? Once he got the scout, he knew it was safe. Just continues with basically 1-arc expand. Bit of an awkward supply depot timing with the second one. But yeah, it just goes back to Nice. Why steal the gas? Why do that?
Yes. I think that's a question that we haven't been able to find the answer for yet in this game, looking at the full picture. Besides, my guess is that he just wanted to get into the head of his opponent a little bit. The Adept shows up, but she's actually going to be out DPS by this army a little bit. The Reaper is the only thing that can outpace her. So, you know, good control there from Nice. Gives the Adept a life now. I'm amazed that Shade finished, by the way. And also that the Shade went in, because now it's dead.
Yeah. Well, either way, maybe it was dead. It's going to be chased down, I suppose. Well, his sister was trying to help out. I don't know. Now this Adept's got to be worried. Well, I guess maybe the other thing is that Nice might actually just be so fed up with some of those double gas openers from Terran that he just, like, cuts it as a possibility when he can. Not that I think Kelazhur was setting up for one, but yeah, it certainly is throwing us off. Kelazhur, though, seems to be taking it mostly in stride. You know, again, besides the second depot coming down faster, a bit of a blip on his command center timing, but otherwise, right into a 1-1-1. Wouldn't mind drop. He got the scout on the Nexus timing and 7X core timing, which was great. He's not gotten the scout on the Stargate, which is a little less great. So we'll see if his Widow Mines get figured out, or if they actually get to unload.
The Reaper coming in here for a follow-up scout. Juicy 1-2 sees the Stargate, the Phoenix. Damn, that is the Knights basically rolled out the red carpet for this Reaper. That's got in there without anything whatsoever. It's even killing probes.
Stop that. Well,
and the Phoenix is like, let me help, and the Adept's like, nope, put it down.
Put it down. Put it down.
Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. All right, good Phoenix.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny though. Now there's one less Phoenix able to lift. Like, I don't know if Kelazhur is still gonna do a Widow Mine drop after seeing a Phoenix opener. He's just currently waiting right now. So I get, okay, he's not going to do it, but I was like, well, you could try. And then if a Phoenix don't find your medevac and stop from entering, now they have one less lift. But now he's going to leave it at home. Defensively place up at least one of those Widow Mines. Oh, another one's on the very top right. Not actually where the Phoenix have entered, though.
No. But it is one of those Widow mines that's likely to catch Phoenixes down the edge of the map to try and pick off those SCVs. In fact, there's the Jabate Marine over there. The don't lift me, do anything but that Marine.
See if it actually works. He already saw one Widow mine target his Phoenix and is like, gotta be a little paranoid about that. And now, well, the other one's moved. That's what happened. Oh, yeah, didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, there we go. He's got the one, the Marine's like, oh no, that's the only Widow mine I have, honestly. Don't lift me.
Not gonna fall for it. Observer comes in, which means he could lift the Widow mine and the Marine together without worrying about being hit, but now the Marines are kind of protecting it too. So it's just like a kind of funny dance. It's not really important. I mean, Kelazhur is kind of making the most out of his build. That was a little bit shut down just by the mere presence of Phoenix. He just was like, yeah, Widow mine drop's not gonna be worth it. So instead he defensively uses them. It does get picked off, like I said it would. So the Phoenixes are a bit more free to roam around. Once again into Colossus. I'm guessing Kelazhur is guessing that. And the Phoenix can do a little bit of damage. Finally, 3 SCVs go down.
It's a pretty expensive opener for Nice, but it's working this game. He's up 10 workers. It's about where you want to be. The Phoenixes are still obviously a lot of damage potential here. They're killing 6 more SCVs, and that may not be the end of it. They may get more. Nice also got the Robotics Bay before the 3rd day, so that's why I mean it's like a little bit more on the expensive side. And generally, Protosses would like to get the Robot Bay after the 3rd. That does mean he's got access to enhanced. Oh god, why? Extended thermal lance. That's for some reason. For some reason, my brain's like the upgrade is enhanced something. No, it's extended thermal lance, and as a result, generally defensively, you're going to be okay against the Terran's +1 attack timing. But I gotta say, when you open Stargate, you know, if you go straight into Robo Bay, I feel a lot more confident for the Protoss. But Stargate units, I always feel like when someone starts a game opening with Phoenixes against the Terran, I'm like, oh, but that +1 attack timing though, how do you stop that? And Nice has put a lot of resources into those Phoenixes. Gung Fu Banda definitely did it against Dolan, but it was a bit of a wild game.
He's actually put a lot of resources into Phoenix. I would say usually like with 5, right, it's enough to maybe lift a tank once, maybe twice, and still be kind of secure with your Phoenix. Or Widow mines if they're still around, right? But otherwise, when it comes to the ground army, you again wanted to kind of get ahead of it, which he has not done. Already letting Kelazhur at least try and get a position. Doesn't really work out too well. Tank is lifted, taken out pretty quickly. Extended Blend's still not quite done, so the Colossus dragging a little awkwardly behind as Kelazhur grabs the concave. I don't think he actually can fight here. Maybe he was thinking about it. He was like, oh, that's an awful lot of not Colossus. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's also, you know, the Twilight Council's just started now for Nice, so these ults going to be slow for a long time. He's very much reliant on the force fields, the Phoenixes and the Colossi for defense here. And Kelazhur does have a Viking in his army. He does have 1 tank still, and he's rallying more tanks into this attack. And Nice isn't out of the woods yet, IMO. Like, yes, he's holding for now. He's up 20 workers. Kelazhur is really committed here. And supply block, by the way, but he is very, very committed here, and his army is still pretty scary.
The army of Nice is really just, it's flimsy once it's concaved on. The Phoenix will go down, the Colossus will have trouble shooting every direction if there's a concave, but that's why he set up defensively. So he's got a bunch of shield batteries, he still has overcharge to use as well, and he is starting to add in other units, but that charge only just starting is what's a little bit worrying as Kelazhur continues to reinforce his position. I'm not sure the tanks will ever really be the biggest deal. I think they become bigger deals, and there's like 3 or 4 of them, and they are target firing the Colossus. But of course, with the Zealots being added in, with the Phoenix being able to lift them, I think Kelazhur makes the wise choice to disengage, and Nice didn't even realize he did. Pops a Guardian Shield, and I was like, wait, where'd you go?
Yeah. So, a bit of energy wasted on that sentry, but Nice going with his counterattack here is actually the one thing I think might go well for Kelazhur. As he's come back home, the Phoenixes are diving in. They do get a medevac. Nice pick-offs there. I mean, everything that Nice picks off is a nice pick-off, really. But, you know, that's technical.
It's getting a little bit frisky in the main base, but I think he's like, I've drawn so much bio away. This is going to be worth it. He might be right about that. Again, if charge was finished, this would be a beautiful opportunity to jump on top of those tanks. Even without charge, I think it was the best opportunity to jump on top of them. Now the bios are turned a little bit, but the Phoenixes pick up 2 out of 3 of the tanks. Try to lift the 3rd, but target fired down. Now it's all lifted tanks, but he's not killing them, and that is a big problem. No.
I think coming in here without charge was a massive mistake from Nice. Kelazhur takes a really good fight and also erases the Phoenixes from the board. And I think if he really wants to commit, he might be able to stim on top of this army. Oh, big lag spikes there. Oh my goodness, was that me?
I saw it as well, so I don't know. I'm gonna assume not us.
What's the hotkey for... Oh, there it is. Wasn't me. Okay. I just brought up my ping.
Well...
So yeah, this is a big overextension from Nice, and I mean, lag aside, like lag isn't the reason that Nice lost that engagement. He super attacked without charge. Just not something that he should have done IMO.
Yeah. I mean, not only without charge, but without a War Prism. You know, that attack was entirely one of opportunity, which I think could have been a good opportunity if he had engaged on the tanks while the Phoenixes were still distracting. If he was just looking to pick things off, which would have been difficult to do with his army currently, you know, as it was, but if he just picked things off and then left with the force fields, I think it's a beautiful double-pronged kind of aggression there. Like, he really does take the opportunity that was given to him as Kelazhur chased down the Phoenix in the main base. But instead, he waited kind of long time, and then when the tanks clearly weren't dying, he was like, he still tried to commit. I didn't mind him being aggressively placed, but I did, you know, obviously actually being aggressive was a mistake. So at least he gets to run away and keeps 2 of the Colossus alive, and okay number of Phoenix, I suppose. Now he's got a lot of charge lots, which makes his army look a bit more fearsome than it really is if Kelazhur is just kiting a little bit. It's better upgrades too, and that's exactly what Kelazhur has. 1-1 to 0 upgrades of Nice.
Yeah, his +1 attack is about 2/3 of the way done there on one forge. Second forge just finished, so he can start his armor as well. I also saw Nice's blue selection box hit the, select the army of Kelazhur to check the upgrades. And he's probably not too happy to see that 1-1 has been done for a minute, as he knows that generally +2 is going to be on the way as well. I think Kelazhur is only on a single engineering bay, though. Phoenixes, while their numbers have been thinned out, they are back in force again. 4 of them just being annoying, picking up SCVs, delaying the extra barracks for Kelazhur. I think Kelazhur is trying to go up to the 8 barracks production and like around that phase of the game here.
It is a bit odd not to see him add a second engineering bay, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he can afford it. He's got it's that part of the game where as a Terran you start to float a bit of gas, as you know, primarily buying things with minerals, with gas just being a secondary resource for you. It goes to the ones that cost a little bit more gas, and sure, goes on the way, but generally the gas is for your upgrades. You know, so your +2 army, your +2 attack, your armory upgrades if you're going down that path, as well as like enhanced shockwave, and there's a big push out here from Kelazhur on the right side. This attack from Kelazhur is going to be going into a Protoss that does have not only Archons, but the Colossus is still here and there's Disruptors. So this is a very scary moment for both players here.
And Nice he's been tracking this army, so that's a bit dangerous. The tanks aren't siege, the entire army was still kind of going down that ramp, and Nice not able to capitalize on that.
Out too far. Nice is going out too far here.
Well, so far he's just I think he's just kind of controlling where the tanks siege up, or trying to, while his Zealots really are distracting Kelazhur. They've taken down the 4th, take down the SCVs in the 3rd base. Kelazhur, feeling the necessity to move in, is actually awfully clumped up. He has a couple of good EMPs, but then he's forced to retreat, trying to make the best out of this, but the Colossus are doing so much damage, but the upgrades really pushing through. Nice actually not going to be able to defend.
No, he decided to engage out here into multiple choke points without the assistance of a shield battery or anything like that. Like, yes, the Zealots are doing a lot of damage over here. The Prism died, though, so once they're cleaned up, they're cleaned up. There's no follow-up for Nice. Kelazhur is behind a lot of workers, but his army is still massive. However, that Zealot run by has distracted Kelazhur, and he doesn't have everything on the field together. But I think Kelazhur might have identified, oh, like, I'm pretty low on workers right now. I'm going to get everything together. Maybe break through these rocks, find a different angle. But I actually feel like the only thing that Nice has got going for him is he's able to get a few more Disruptors out. And he's got another Colossus on the way. So Disruptors really need to connect here for Nice. Otherwise, this army of Kelazhur is going to roll through him.
I do think that, like, I can see why Nice took the engagement. I don't think overall it was a terrible idea. The army of Kelazhur was really clumped up, but I think what really was problematic was being down 2 upgrades. Now he is still down 1. Disruptor's going to try and take out the tanks, but only managed to grab 1 when they could have easily grabbed 2, but then 2 Disruptor shots actually getting great hits there at the last second. Yet Kelazhur's army supply is still holding strong. Shield battery out of overcharge, but still has some juice in it, and the Zealots are trying to actually connect with the army, but it's not happening. A very tight hold right now, but Nice might just be out of defensive units. Colossus pops out, has to come over here and help out, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
It may just be. There's enough Stalkers here. They've got their 1-1 upgrades, and the Colossus on the back line is something that's too tough for the Kelazhur's very hurt, very stimmed army to actually go up and engage. So Nice is going to hold for now. And Kelazhur's reinforcements are just Marines, which is exactly what you want to see as Colossus Boy. And we are actually seeing the Invisible Men also being warped in from Nice, and that is something that I could see really switching things over into the Protoss' favor. So Nice is holding. Yes, his army's smaller, but his economy's bigger. And now with the Invisible Men, he can hit the Terran while holding on his side of the map, and that is very important here.
That was a
Kelazhur's not thinking about DT. He's got no turrets.
No, he's actually just finally gotten his 4th base up, which I imagine eventually would have added a missile turret to it, but now the DTs are already here. He doesn't see them as his army passes by them. They get into the 3rd base. They get into the natural. Actually trying to stop them getting to the main base. 1 scan for 2 DTs.
Good scan.
Yeah, pretty good scan right there, but the 3rd one still wreaking havoc on the 3rd base.
The 3rd one does go down, and that I feel like is the most scariest moment, is when the first wave of DTs comes in, and if they're hitting 3 mineral lines at once, they generally kill a lot of SCVs. Now, obviously, the Terran, next couple hundred minerals they get is going to go into turrets, static defense. So, top right here, by the way, Nice's army out of position completely, and it's a little bit slow, so Kelazhur might be able to pick off this Nexus.
Not quite going to be able to get it. Yeah, he's going to respect that army for sure. I mean, he gets the shield batteries going down could still be actually very important as Kelazhur holds that army supply lead. It's a very small one, and it's always, you know, because he's reinforcing that with a warp prism, he's going from across the field. It's never quite all there, like Nice's usually is. Nice does have a couple of army units on this side of the map. DT specifically, this is where they finally got into multiple mineral lines, still 15 SCVs worth of damage. Kelazhur finds a Colossus on the left, but then is going to have to get the heck out of there. Pops 3 disruptors, which would be promising for a follow-up, but there is no follow-up from Kelazhur. He just runs back home.
And I feel like the fumes are starting to run a little dry here for Kelazhur. He's prioritizing nothing but mineral mining, which he absolutely should, because he's got like nearly 1,500 gas in the bank. But it's 35 workers worth of mineral mining, and basically 2 bases of saturation. The main's dry, the natural's about to dry up. And the income of Kelazhur is pretty abysmal versus Nice, who is, you know, yes, he's paycheck to paycheck. There's not really a bank here for Nice, but he has the splash damage still. He's got those Archons, he's got triple disruptor, and he's launching those disruptors into the ball of Kelazhur right now. Hits a few of the units, still Kelazhur with a lot of army here. Tank also coming into the backside. If Kelazhur had EMPs, I feel like this is an engagement that he could definitely take. But the disruptors, oh my god, Nice just disrupted his own stalkers there. A wonky fight for both of them.
Whoops. Yeah, it was a bit wonky indeed. Like, it's so funny what happened on Death Aura when it comes to that 4th base. Sometimes it looks like if you just get up on the high ground, you'll take the fight, and you're like, oh no, I'm really clumped up though. So you kind of regret going up onto the high ground. But, you know, that's what you got to do in order to actually make some headway, and Kelazhur not really able to do so. He still, again, kept the army supplies even. Still has an upgrade lead as well. I guess it's getting kind of wonky though with 2-1-1 on Nice, but 3-1 on Kelazhur. I guess it's like, is it an upgrade lead? I would say so. +3 on the bio, I think, is just like, it's always been the upgrade, right?
Yeah, I think when you have bio, like, there are some players that for a while would just go like, they would ignore armor completely and just get +3 attack and then start going towards, you know, something else, because the attack upgrades matter so much more. And having +3 attack against +1 armor, I think, is very nice for Terran, as when you're up against like a lot of zealots and that sort of thing. Obviously, disruptors and colossi don't care as much. They'll be more than happy to have their attack upgrades, and disruptors don't give a shit about their upgrades as long as the Nova connects. Big attack from Nice at the 3rd base. Very hurt command center. Easy to pick off for these talkers.
Yep. Well, that's not good for Kelazhur. He takes a tremendous fight. Then maybe he can actually rebuild that 3rd and turtle up on Death Aura, but he's got to take a really good fight, and that just doesn't seem all that likely. I think he can take a good one, but I don't know about an amazing one. EMP is going to screw very nice for now, but he's just waiting for Zealots. Still has the Warp Prism, plenty healthy in the back lines. Bit of a drop to the right, is going to find 1 Nexus, but I think Kelazhur still thinks that's the 5th. That was actually a 6th.
Yeah, that's the problem for Kelazhur. There are some probes here that are not as many as other Nexi, obviously, because it's starting to get mined out, but Kelazhur is finding damage. He's going to kill the Warp Pins here on their Zealots. Once again, it's +3 against +1 armor, so they are actually ripping through their Zealots very, very quickly. Nice's entire army also on the top side of the map, giving Kelazhur a little bit of room to move, but this one observer of Nice has actually survived a scan. It's been here the whole game, and it's seen Kelazhur move out every single time. So Nice is moving to intercept. The big splash damagey part of his army is being left behind, though. So Kelazhur can actually beat this part of Nice's army that he's breaking off.
But that gets taken down. Yeah, the big army for Kelazhur to the left is just in a better place. It's more of his actual army compared to Nice, who split perhaps inaccurately. Recall with
Yeah,
the Nexus
inaccurately.
tries to save the day, but the Disruptors aren't really going to get any good shots.
my
Plenty
God.
of room to micro for Kelazhur, as he is making this actually a potential game in his favor. I thought he might be screwed if losing that third command center. Instead, he kills the Nexus, kills the probes, kills the army, and is up 30 army supply only after a couple of warpings. But the Disruptor, okay, grabs a good shot there. Oh god, the Disruptor's still alive. Now out of juice.
And Disruptor's still working their magic here for Nice. He's got one off cooldown to be able to fire that Nova. And this Kelazhur's back in this weird position again where he could potentially box himself against the Disruptors. Really nice EMP there on the gateway units and on the Disruptors, which go down very quickly. The Zealots coming in. They've just cleaned up the main base. They're coming in to assist their friends down here at that 4th Nexus. Kelazhur still threatening, though. That fight, that splitting of the army from Nice has put Kelazhur in a position where he could potentially win this game. It felt like Nice had this in the bag until that split of his forces and that recall where Kelazhur managed to... Oh, and he got a Disruptor for free. Nice. Could be careful with these Disruptors. He's lost 2 Disruptors to the tanks, and Kelazhur, he needs those. His life is literally depending on them.
Yeah, he doesn't know how far away the tanks are. He has no vision on the army, so he's just kind of guesstimating, and he absolutely guessed wrong. I guess the good news is that Nice has finally finished up all those upgrades that were in the production tab for 2 minutes, so he's at 3-2-1 against 3-2. So, I mean, a fight is going to look a little better for him, but I think you're right, which is that he still needs a good Disruptor shot to help out. That's his last one. It's an okay shot, but then that's it. Then it's back down to just the regular army. I mean, backed by a shield battery, but I think Overcharge is still on cooldown, so it's... they both are trying to measure each other up and see what can really happen. Kelazhur thinks it could happen. Left side EMP looks good. He's like, nice to take the fight. He has to go for it. The Zealots go in. The tank's still alive and healthy. Target firing down these Stalkers, doing an excellent job, but the Bio Army has completely disappeared. Just medevacs and tanks right now, and they are going to have to retreat. Well, not the tanks. Unfortunately, you're just going to die.
They do die. They took a lot of the tier 3 army of Nice down. A lot of the Disruptors and the Archons went down. Colossus as well. Kelazhur has some reinforcements, and it's just some, though. He's making 10 Marines at once, so really, he's like, oh, okay, there's not that many Colossi anymore. If I go really heavy on the Marines, the charge loss is going to be less of an issue. So that seems to be the idea with the composition of Kelazhur, who is still able to afford to make more and more army and is still maintaining an army lead. While Nice was up like 30 or so workers at one point, that big attack down at 9 o'clock, that Nexus and that recall and all that sort of stuff we were talking about earlier, that big pivotal moment in this game, has actually made it so the economies are very similar now. In fact, Kelazhur is mining more minerals than Nice. He's still not mining any gas, so his gas bank's gone away, but now he's actually out mining Nice.
Oh, that's not what you'd expect. This game is a lot of twists and turns. Kelazhur's army supply looks great, but I guess you also have to consider the amount of that's in the medevacs. I guess you have to still consider those upgrades, which Nice has, again, gone great lengths to improve on. The micro here, very important, as Kelazhur has taken full advantage of the Terran micro, running away from the Colossus beams, taking out the Zealots. The Stalkers would love to get on the action, but as soon as they blink an error, they just die. More Prism gets taken down. That was a really useful tool. Not even for offensively. Like, that could have been used defensively to save a couple of key units.
And Nice actually has not fixed the rally point on the robotics facility, so there's a Colossus in the middle of nowhere as well.
Oh, no.
That's, luckily, I think he's seen it and he's pulling it back to his army. Yeah, so he's not going to lose that. I was really afraid for Nice that he was just going to rally that thing out into the 3rd base or something, and Kelazhur's reinforcements would kill it. And he kills the Observer also back at home. There's some DTs or other charge lots just coming in to try and hit the, basically the main base of Kelazhur being flown out here for more mining because he is so mined out. Fight to the north side. Little Mines being thrown into the mix as well. Nice doesn't have a whole lot of charge loss left. Kelazhur trying to die for the Colossi, but it's an overextension. Kelazhur losing a little bit more of the bio on the north right.
He actually sniped the Disruptor to start that engagement off, which is why I think he stuck around for so long, but I think it might have been overextension. Stalkers, yep, gonna be able to take down every last bio unit. Some of the medevacs escape, which is kind of important. I mean, we're down to talking about that, especially because Kelazhur never started up those gas geysers. You kept pointing it out. Originally at 300, he could afford quite a few Marauders, but now he can't afford Marauders, much less medevacs, Liberators, Ghosts, like anything that'd be actually very, very helpful. No longer available, and it looks like either he hasn't identified it or he just doesn't want to fix it. He'd rather just make pure Marine, which sometimes is a good option.
Yeah. I mean, Marauders are definitely important here, right? Like, it's going to help you a lot more against the Stalkers, and having a lot of Marines against a guy that's managed to get his Colossus count up and have Archons is not really what you want. They're very good against the charge lots, but that's basically where their usefulness ends in the late game against Colossi. I guess they also kill probes fast as well, so you can drop them into probe lines. But yeah, as far as dealing with the army of the Protoss, you still want Marauders. You want some kind of factory unit, generally, whether it be Wintermine or tank, to assist you with the rest. And that is a problem compositionally for Kelazhur. He's not able to get the tanks up because he cannot afford them. He hasn't had the gas. He can't afford Widow Mines either. And I don't think Kelazhur expected to have to mine gas again in this game. He still hasn't taken gas at those extreme bases. And when the minerals come in to be able to afford those refineries, they go straight into Marines, like you mentioned.
He's got at least a couple SCVs on there. So, I mean, yeah, at least produce the Marauders. But at a certain point, he might also lose all of his medevacs. I mean, being at 3 is already way too low. The right side has no support whatsoever, is easily pushed back. But I think eventually those 3 will become 1 and then absolutely 0. Scans having to be used on DT presence as he never got into Nice's production or technology, which would have been a potential game changer. But as this game has really calmed down, with Nice still being on 5 Nexus, I do think that in about 30 seconds, 60 seconds, it's just going to be extremely Nice favored. Right now, it's kind of feels like it is, but then it's going to really reflect in the army supply as well.
Yeah, Nice is like, he's not been making probes for a minute, but he doesn't need to. He's fully saturated on the basis that he does have, and he's outmining the Terran by a good measure, especially in gas, which means that he can afford things like Colossi and Archons and stuff like that, which is something that Kelazhur is, he's starting to mine a little bit of gas again, but it's going into Marauders. He can't, again, afford tanks. He can't replenish medevacs very easily either. They're 100 gas apiece. Tanks 125 gas apiece. Kelazhur is so reliant on just having a giant ball of bio and hoping that Nice overextends, but Nice is actually, uncharacteristically, I feel, not being aggressive and not throwing units at the problem. He's just doing the right thing, which I like a lot more, which is just slow the game down and expand. He's up in probes. He's just got to chill. Let Kelazhur come to him. Kelazhur is the one making nothing but units here.
He's already learned that lesson, perhaps, from the earlier attack. Back at, like, minute 10.
It's a very hard lesson to learn for Nice.
Yeah, I kind of started this whole thing. It's not an observer in the main base, or rather a DT that has managed to avoid a scan, I suppose, just waiting for the right time to strike. A little more annoying of a time to strike, not when the army's just there. Maybe could wait a little while longer, but oh well. All right, well, he still goes for it. I mean, this is still going to scout that the army is back at home, which I guess he hasn't. Oh, now he knows. Observer is now over the army. So any paranoia, any anxiety that Nice would have had about extending his Nexus to the rich Vespian gas is now, you don't have to be anxious about it. You know where the army is. There's a little bit of a hit squad to the left, sure, but you are now able to warp in enough that defending multiple points with pylons is once again possible, unlike the past 6 minutes where it was like, well, everything kind of needs to be in the right place. Now it's a little more excusable, and now everything is in the right place. Both armies beating each other, but Kelazhur having to go up a ramp. They're actually going to take the fight.
God,
I don't know about this one, Nice.
That's so much fire.
Oh, God.
That's so much fire. I think Nice thought that maybe he's got this, but he actually is dealing with a lot more infantry than he expected. These things are just, oh my God, they're like making mincemeat out of these gateway units. This Colossus gets picked off as well. Nice without any disruptors. There's one on the left side here.
Gonna go bowling. Doesn't find very much. Just 2-3 Marauders. Here comes another one, plus another Colossus. Overcharge is gonna try and help out here, and it actually will. Nexus goes down, Pylon goes down, Zealots go down, but here's the Disruptor once again. Oh my God, he barely gets it. The last second snipe, but at DT, the charge lots, the Colossus have been ripping through the Bio Army. And that Disruptor I thought it might be up to the Disruptor. It actually wasn't. It was up to the rest of the Protoss army to finally push Kelazhur back.
Kelazhur not done. Comes in with another bio here for that tank. Picks up the Disruptor on the backside as well. Can he overwhelm the Colossi? He's going to die for them here. If the Colossi go down, Kelazhur can take this game. He's still got some more bio on the left side. Not too many Stalkers left from Nice. Oh my God. Close. I think Nice just has it.
Oh
and
my
with
God.
a few more seconds to breathe, a little bit more mining, Nice should be able to get another round of scary units out. In fact, he's making 2 Colossi at a time here from the double robo, which is a good call, I think. Because at the moment, not at the moment, but for like the past 10 minutes, I feel Kelazhur has been so reliant on bio to just seal this deal. I thought he had it. Like, this is the third time in this game that I thought Kelazhur won the game, but Nice just holds.
Nice has been taking such awkward starts to these engagements, clearly thinking he has more like staying power than he does, and then suddenly being like, oh my God, I'm only down to Colossus, evacuate. And then barely being able to do so, but I loved that last fight. It was literally Kelazhur taking down the weak stalkers, 4 units to 4 units. Absolutely amazing. And things have really evened up again, this game. Kelazhur only about like 10 workers, really ain't that bad. When you account for a couple of mules, he has finally been able to slap down because DTs have no longer been consistent. Nice was putting it all into this big army that was supposed to be quite good and then kind of mishandled the situation. And Nice has been cut down in the armor supply again to the point where you're like, well, Kelazhur can do it with pure bio, 1 medevac being produced at a time.
Also, Nice has got 41 probes, which is, 10 more than the Terran, but he's being outmined substantially here because he's super oversaturated at the one Nexus he has been mining from. And this one down here at the Rich Vespine base is being like long distance mined. When that's finished, obviously there's going to be a nice bump for Nice, but it does mean he's reliant on making Archons here, and he can't print Zealots, which makes dealing with Bio very, very tough because he's like, oh, I can't afford Disruptors and Archons and Colossi. It's not that kind of economy. So a giant ball of Bio from Kelazhur again could actually end this game a little bit even more. Like the next fight might even be more convincing for Kelazhur than the last one.
Could be. I feel like Nice, and this is something that I don't blame him at all. Oh, but I love it. I was gonna say exactly this. I don't blame him for not getting Storm for a lot of this game, because Storm has been kind of in a questionable area for many PvTs. Once the Ghosts are able to be reduced, they usually get some pretty sick ones. Maybe you're good with the Warp Prism Micro, right? I'm glad that he figures out, he's like, wait a second. Maybe Storm would actually be very helpful in this game. For the last 15 minutes, it feels like Kelazhur has not been able to afford Ghosts. So maybe that could do it. Plus, you can kind of litter the Storms around, right? Kind of get some surprise ones, start the fight off right. Certainly, that choke that he failed to defend in the last engagement would be much better off if he had a couple Storms slapped down, but Storm is not done. It's only about 70% done, and he's forced to engaging, and one Colossus goes down. Other two Colossus getting some good shots, but Kelazhur once again looking to hit this Wretched Vespian Geyser base. Nice has wanted it so much. He wants to just make pure Archon against the no EMPs of Kelazhur, but he can't get it up quite yet.
Well, Kelazhur sees his High Templar and he's picking up what Nice is putting down, so he started Ghost production back at home. So, I mean, maybe Kelazhur is held here and Nice buys time for Storm, which he has, by the way. Storm is up and running now for Nice, and these High Templar have been amassing energy for that bad weather for quite a while. Kelazhur is actually ahead in Workers for the first time in ages in this game. For like the last 20 minutes, he's been behind in Workers. He's finally ahead. There's the Storm from Nice, but not a very effective one. And Kelazhur is just going to wait for the Ghost to join in. And when the Ghosts join in, he has the ability to get rid of a lot of the splash damage here from Nice.
Well, Nice sees an opportunity. He's like, you don't have anything to deal with the EMP, or so you don't have EMPs yet. One EMP is going to try and hit, but oh my god, a couple of Storms. A trio of Storms came down. Finally, the EMP falls on the High Templar, forcing them into Archons, but the bio has already been damaged, perhaps enough for the limited amount of units protecting the Colossus to let them do their jobs. The Colossus ripped through the last Marauder, and that's it. GG. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Damn, that Nice Kelazhur game too was it was a barn burner. God damn, that was game of the day for me so far for sure by a large margin. Wow, I mean, I was crediting the Cham Thermal game for being so back and forth.